Hey kids. Hi. It's another one of those videos. It's Cafe Rants Tale, and once again, I'm not alone. I have a good friend with me today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Why, hello there. Hi, greetings from the archive. I'm AE, I'm a loud punk bastard on the internet.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on twitch.tv/archivist or archivist on like everywhere, I guess. You can find me yapping about queer and leftist issues. I am a loud gay problem. My pronouns are he, him, or they, them.
All right. Well, are you ready to rant about toxic cis people?
Always.
Perfect. All right. Let's get going.
This just in, huge flood ruins Toronto Youth Support Center.
Are you sure it's identifying as flooded?
Why are we still doing like attack helicopter jokes in the year 2026?
It's because they don't have any other material. They have nothing else that they can say. They think this is still funny in a way that is like, they think that like this triggers trans people. And I know that, God, it's forbid one person from that community watches is like, oh, well, you are triggered already from. No, it's just like, God, can you come up with something better? Like, make me feel something. Like, you know,
Yeah.
for the boomers out there, back in my day, you know, bullying actually used to mean something. I used to feel feelings, and now I'm just like, ugh, all right, like spit in my face, punch me or something. God.
Every time I deal with like transphobes or homophobes or whatnot attacking me, nearly every time my reaction is okay, and I swear so often a lot of the hatred, at least I get targeted with, it's not effective. It's the same 3 or 4 like jokes repeated over and over again. I am begging people to get better material.
Please, for the love of God, just anything would be better. So yeah, when you said the okay thing, I kind of think of that meme of like, it's a group of people talking and somebody says something and then somebody from the group overextends and does a thumbs up. It's like, okay. And then goes back. It's just that. It's that meme. Like, God.
Literally, like, it is nothing more than a minor annoyance and inconvenience.
Amazon has officially canceled the Lord of the Rings MMO. They'll continue to explore a compelling new game experience set in Middle-earth.
They ran out of resources creating the 214 body types and 783 genders the game would have had.
Do it, Isildur! Destroy the one joke! Cast it into the fire! Please, just cast it into the fire. Just throw it into the fires of Mount Doom. Let's not have to deal with it anymore. I swear to God, come up with new material.
Literally. I do find the, oh, how many genders are there question hilarious. As many as you want there to be. I don't care. How many does it take to piss you off?
Yeah, I don't know and I don't care. I'm still attracted to all of them but men, so.
Real and valid. God, I love men. I'll take the men if you don't want them.
Yeah, you can have the men, it's fine. But also, like, I think it kind of like baffles my mind sometimes, like how many people either like one don't understand how queer a lot of media is or like how accepting it is, because like it's always funny to me whenever people think that Lord of the Rings is about racism and like, homophobia and everything, and it's just like, God, I feel bad for the Lord of the Rings community who keeps like trying to feed that down, and it's like, God, do you not like read the books? Did you not at all listen to like J.R.R. Tolkien and like how he fought extremely hard against the racists trying to use his books and like try to like compare the orcs to black people? Like, so, and then it wasn't helped by, oh, what's his face? The creator of D&D just doubling down on all that stuff.
Nerd communities have this very long history of, how do I say, getting absurdly bent out of shape over any implication that the media they've devoted their life to is in any way like woke. When you actually look at the source material, like oftentimes a lot of it is inherently anti-authoritarian, accepting, perhaps not like, you know, the most woke in the world, but it carries those themes of love and acceptance, because guess what? That's going to be the case with most art. There's so many pieces of media that have started off as like critiques of fascism and racism and imperialism, and the fandoms decided actually this fascism stuff is pretty cool, and that's the reason I will never touch Warhammer.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ, that's so fair. I like, God, I know that the Warhammer is so thick in the trans femme community, but like, Yep.
It's one of those things where, like, there's been a part of me that existing in a lot of, like, tabletop gaming spaces has always wanted to get into it, but was very heavily pushed out of it when I was younger. Being a, trans mask kid who was typically perceived as a girl, like, entering those spaces, I was very immediately like thrown out and invalidated. The kind of rhetoric of like, oh, how could a girl ever like this thing that's made for boys? How could you ever understand it? Name 10 facts about it. And I wish I could have had that opportunity, but I'm kind of at a point looking like at a lot of these fan bases and communities where I don't think I'm missing out on much.
No, that's fair. I mean, like, it's one of the things too. I'm as someone who loves free rent, having to like just constantly see racists talk about free rent and how it's all about racism and how it's like people have to protect themselves from the monsters and the demons and they have to like, you can't trust demons. And it's just like, you're missing the whole point of the show.
It's funny you mention Ren because I haven't watched it in full yet, but it's been on my list for a while, and I very recently got to actually like watch an episode for the first time. And yeah, it's a very honestly like wholesome piece of media that definitely carries a lot of those themes. It is absurd to me also how like right-wing anime spaces tend to be. Trans propaganda in the new Pokemon game. There are male Pokemon, female Pokemon, and even Pokemon with unknown genders.
Because Magnemite exists and doesn't have a gender. Same thing with Voltorb and a bunch of others. And it's just,
This is literally just the actual game mechanics. This has been a thing since, I think Gen 2 is when they properly added gender?
I think so.
This has been a thing since Gen 2. What are we complaining about?
We're complaining about the fact that we can't read and we don't know how to read symbols that have existed since 2000? When did Gen 2 come out? It wasn't Gen 2, it was for sure Gen 3, and Gen 3 came out in like 2004, roughly?
Because Gen 2 is when they introduced breeding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Complete sidebar. I remember being a youngin', a little baby critter, and looking through like Pokemon guidebooks. I had no idea what a trans person was. I hadn't yet reckoned with the fact I was some form of transgender. But I would see like so many of the legendary Pokemon particularly being genderless, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. The signs were there.
1999.
1999. And that predates me.
Oh God, don't say that. Don't tell me that.
Would you like me to make it worse?
Don't tell me that you weren't alive during 9/11.
I was born 10 days after 9/11.
God damn it. God damn it. Okay. Anyways, I just, I swear. It's just like, oh, this whole trans thing never existed up until about 10 years ago. And it's like, fam, were you not ever paying attention to some like kids, like in the 90s or like in the thousands?
No, trans kids have always been around. Trans people have existed for so long throughout history in different like forms and cultures. Gender is a social construct, and there have always been people who in some way existed outside of that social construction. The Samus is a trans woman argument destroyed. Samus is a chick. Deal with it. When did we stop letting people have headcanons?
Yeah, I mean, especially with, do you know the whole story with Samus? Like why a lot of people headcanon her to be trans?
I'm not actually particularly familiar.
Oh, okay. So back in the 80s, I think, Samus had no face. There was no body to Samus at all. It was just the armor. And a lot of people assumed Samus was a man. And there was some advertisements of Samus being surrounded by women. And then the game came out with Samus, and it was like, oh yeah, by the way, Samus is a woman. So some people are like, you know what? Good for her. She transitioned. It's like the GTA 6 meme of like the girl in the bikini, and then the next they show the guy in a swimsuit, and they're like, good for him. He looks so much happier now. So, but yeah, it's like that's where it kind of comes from.
Nah, base.
Is like because a lot of people assume Samus was a man because of just the armor and everything, because how video games are heavily dominated, male space. Women never play video games at all, period. And then to have Samus come out and be like, oh yeah, by the way, Samus is a woman. It just like broke people's minds during I think it was like 80s and 90s.
I almost miss the era where that was transgressive. Not in that it was a better time, because obviously the fact that was transgressive is indicative of the fact that gaming was an even less accepting space than it currently is.
Oh god.
But I do kind of miss the era where that was transgressive, just for the pure silly of it, you know?
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Like you said, like why can't people just have headcanons? Like why is it so bad for people? Like I want to go ahead and say like it's not bad for people to have headcanons, but for the love of God, don't like force your headcanon onto other things. Like
I'm just like, God, why are we living in an era where people are so mad at others for like projecting onto a fictional character? A part of the joy of fiction is seeing yourself in the experiences of characters and extrapolating that. And of course, you know, that doesn't make it canon. That doesn't don't push your personal perspectives on the creators of a work or whatnot. But like, let people have fun with the media they're consuming. If people want to relate to a character and project some of their personal experience, have at. I think that's beautiful.
I agree. I was gonna say Knights of Guinevere because I remember there was a character people were headcanoning as being trans femme, and I got upset with Dana Terrace because she's like, no, she's not trans femme. She's just kind of a butch woman. And like, it's just like, okay, but you can still headcanon her as being trans. It's fine. That's okay.
This is actually a issue I've had to face with some characters in like my world building and lore, wherein some people have tried to, you know, put certain queer identities on them that, you know, aren't the intended writing for one reason or another. And I totally welcome people to interpret and relate to those characters as they will, but ultimately, like, I'm the author. My say is final. Killian is a cishet man, and he's staying a cishet man.
Cis is a most extreme form of misogyny. It is both a term of abuse and a form of linguistic apartheid. It robs. Oh my god. It. I can't keep my. I can't.
No, take your time. What is this?
I can't keep a straight face reading this. Anyways, it robs women of their unique sexual identity. God. It intimidates them into accepting the absurd proposition that any man can become a biological female just by announcing it. Don't use the cult language. The mouthwash?
Christ.
Oh, hashtag so over trans dogma. I did not see that little thing at the end of it. Oh my god.
I'm genuinely curious if that's like some kind of organization, quote unquote. I'm incredibly curious.
Oh, 100% it is.
I kind of want to see like what people are doing under that hashtag. One sec. I'm gonna real quickly venture into the depths of Twitter. I need to know. You know, speaking of Twitter, I am so confused and frustrated by the insistence a lot of cis people have on the word, you know, cis being a slur, essentially. That is something that requires a term to be like degrading and offensive in nature. And it is so frustrating having that compared to like, you know, actual language that has been used to systemically discriminate and harm people.
So you know why they think cis is a slur, right?
I'm curious to hear your particular explanation.
Oh, okay. No, technicality, it's like twofold, right? It's like one, the oppressors want to be oppressed, so they're going to try to find any way that they can be oppressed. And the second one is because they view trans as a slur. So they think anytime that like you, and not like a slur in like, you know, oh, you shouldn't call people this, but like in a slur in the sense of like to demean the person and to like basically try to like make them feel subhuman, try to get like them to be extremely defensive and be like, well, I'm not trans, because they think it's like an insult. And so because they see trans as being an insult to somebody's like appearance and them as a person, they think therefore then the word cis itself is also a slur, because they think it's, you know, the trans community trying to get back at them for using the terminology of trans as like an insult.
That's a really interesting take in perspective, because the way I'd always thought about or considered it was more to do with attempts to make language less useful by essentially trying to take away the word cis. It makes it much more obvious and evident who is trans and gets in the way of our abilities to communicate our experiences, to document them in public spaces. I saw it more as just a means of like either co-opting or discouraging use of language. That's a really fascinating perspective on it, actually.
Oh god. Real women have a womb and one extra rib. Bear children through their Virginia. I forgot that said Virginia, not breastfeed their baby. Prove that a trans person can do this.
I don't think even cis women are bearing children through their Virginia.
Yeah, what is a woman's Virginia? I gotta know. Like,
I'm gonna be honest.
does every woman just have the state of Virginia inside of them?
Maybe listen. It's been a while since I've read a biology textbook.
God, that's so true. That's so fair.
I will never get over how I'm going to assume that this is an aggressively cis man. It is endlessly absurd to me how little men know about women's biology, just in general.
I mean, how they know about their biology too, because men can breastfeed babies too.
True, technically, yeah.
Men can technically breastfeed babies too.
No, my background is in specifically neuroscience, but specifically neurogenetics, and I love breaking down for my community every now and then the just absurdity of human genetics in like the most fascinating way. Doesn't matter, your sex, for lack of a better term, you have in your DNA the capacity for all of this, for any, particular parts or task. None of that is actually on the X and Y chromosomes. It just takes the right triggers to access it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. But also, God, you gotta love the fact that they throw religion in here too with the one extra rib. Like,
Oh, I forgot that was a thing.
yeah.
I forgot that was a religious thing. Oh my God.
It is. That is a religious thing.
I have been so far outside of like religious spaces for sorry, are there people who genuinely like believe that women have an extra rib just because that's the Bible?
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this. People out there believe that there's an extra rib, and I know a guy, like back when I was working retail, I had a customer who told me he was alive and conscious in his mother's womb, and that's how he knew God existed. I was like, my guy, nobody is ever conscious or aware of themselves until the age of like 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's when memory formation starts being a thing. Your brain is so malleable when you're young that it doesn't form long-term memory.
So people are out there. They exist.
Daughter says she's trans. 9th grade. WTF do.jpg. Confess I'm trans too. She's confused. Dad, no you're not. Stop being a bigot, Charlotte. Let's do this together. Wear dress and makeup next morning. Daughter is angry. Tells me to stop faking. No, I'm trans, honey. Now get in the car and let's go to school. She's horrified. Has to be dropped off a block away. Nope, I walk her in. Wave to the front desk. She's fuming. Wife can't stop laughing. Pick up daughter in skirt and heels. Shitty makeup, glitter on cheeks. Skip your to her and her friends. Dad, stop! It's not funny! Demand she use my pronouns. Call her a bigot. Next morning, she's done with the whole trans thing. Begs me to stop. Is being trans just the 90s version of goth? Definitely not cool when your parents do it. Lean into it and shame them out of it.
The one thing that like really pisses me off about this is that picture right there. That guy wearing the skirt and the heels, that is a cis man who started wearing skirts and heels because it was either his wife or a coworker of his was getting sexually harassed by a guy. So to make a point, he started wearing skirts and heels. And when the guy was making those comments, he turned around and goes, yeah, and what about my ass? Like, what about like me? Do you like my legs? Do you like all this stuff? And when the guy was like constantly be like, oh yeah, she has like a nice butt because of the heels and everything. And it's like being like sexually explicit about this person. And he started doing this as a retort and like showing, like basically standing in solidarity with women of being like, no, men can also do this. And also look at my butt. It's nice, isn't it? But it's just like co-opting this image for that specifically for just to be transphobic when this guy clearly was trying to like help defend his wife or a coworker, and at the same time, showing that it's okay for men to wear heels and skirts and look good in it too.
We love men who are secure enough in their masculinity to not be afraid to, dress femininely, whether to make a point or just because it's cool.
Yeah. So, but also like way to just shame your child instead of trying to understand where they're coming from. for who they are because you're too narrow-minded and don't want to like accept the fact that your child might be trans.
I hate the comparison here of being trans to a subculture. I hate that, but also I really hate the implication that existing in an alternative subculture is a thing to like shame your kid out of in the first place. As someone who has found so much of my love and life and hope and community in the punk scene, hell no. If your kid wants to be goth, let them be goth.
And also, like, way to just carry the hatred and misunderstanding of like your parents before trying to push you out of being able to freely express yourself and to be who you are. It just is so frustrating. And it's not being goth, being punk, being emo, being, you know, gay or bi or trans. It's not a phase. It's really honestly not. And some of it is like, God, I gotta be careful with my wording because I was like, some of it is just self-expression and being able to like put yourself further into who you are. And some of it is just aspects of who you are and like being able to push more of yourself into being goth or being punk or any of this stuff, and like pushing those boundaries and being yourself is, I think, far more important. And yeah, way to put your kid into a box and like shove them further into that box and then punch them down into the point where they just submit and are probably going to stay in the closet for another God knows how many years until, you know, they move out and go to college and then they can finally just be themselves. I feel like this is the parents gonna be like, my kid stopped talking to me and I don't understand why. It's like, this is why. This is why.
Yeah, no, this is how you get kids who don't talk to you beyond the age of 20. I do also want to say, like, even if it is a phase, who cares? Give people the room and space to explore themselves, their styles, their identities. And I think that even includes, like, exploring queerness. I think it's okay to experiment with gender and sexuality and to decide maybe it wasn't for you. Take the time to deconstruct this stuff, explore your style, explore how you like to present. That's okay. So what if it's a phase? You learned something.
Yeah. And that's been my message. It's just like, so what if it is a phase? Just, you know, you tried, you experimented, you learned more about yourself, and you've learned what is okay with you and what's not okay with you. And that's just it. You've learned who you are, and you're able, maybe there are some aspects of, you know, when you were figuring out if you're trans or not, you know, maybe you do like more feminine things, or maybe you do like more masculine things, or, you know, maybe there are certain things that you enjoy. That's fine. You've learned more about your gender or your like sexuality or your identity, and that's beautiful. So that should be like fostered and taken care of. Never judge a book by its cover. Willing to go for it? I hate how femboys and trans women are constantly like lumped together and then like fetishized, and then like trans women are then punished and just like constantly being told that you're just a fetish, you're just doing this for it. And it's just like, and like I can go off on like how I don't like how certain things about like the not safe for work space uses stuff like T-girl and ladyboy and a bunch of other terms to specifically like market themselves. So I just want to go ahead and say spicy content creators and spicy workers are workers. We're not throwing them under the bus. I just hate where the industry's at and like what the industry pushes and everything.
I'm gonna be honest, it took me about like 45 seconds of staring at this image to notice.
Yeah, it's because it's one of the things of like, there's also like this whole aspect of like, there's like cis women who act like they're trans and they'll wear a packer, and there's also them boys who try to like lean into the whole ladyboy thing, and it's kind of really gross and disgusting, and it like further pushes like the fetishization of trans people.
Yeah, the fetishization of trans bodies is a topic that I honestly have really complicated feelings on, because on one hand I'm an extremely anti-censorship person. I am of the belief that like the censorship of art and of NSW content and whatnot is a kind of all or nothing debate. And I've met a lot of trans people who find some amount of joy or affirmation in certain elements of like the sexualization of trans bodies. But there's always the question to be asked of like, is this being done with the intention of uplifting or degrading trans bodies and experiences?
Yeah, and that's kind of my thing. It's just like, I also have like a bunch of conflicting emotions, because on one hand it's just like, oh yeah, go get your bag, get your bag, like get your money, you know, express yourself, you gotta flaunt it. I'm for one a person who like flaunts what I've got. Like holy shit, my gym gains have been really good, and I've been flaunting, you know, how like bubbly my butt is. I've been like flaunting how like back has a lot of muscles now, flaunting like how much weight I can like do and like, yeah, allow for freedom of expression and allow for people to like share their bodies and everything. But like at the same time, I'm also kind of disgusted by the industry and like how it fetishizes trans bodies and trans people. And it's especially like just knowing how trans spicy workers can be under a lot of threat by these places. And a lot of them are kind of just pigeonholed into these spots of like, well, if you ever want to be able to like make it or like make any kind of money, you have to do this stuff. And it's just, it's so upsetting, especially with like being written out by legislation. And in those same states, like we're the #1 trending topic on all these different spicy sites. So it's one of the things of like, they want us to be taboo for their own pleasure and not like at all think of us as people.
On the other end of this, I don't know if this is even a space where this is a thing that I can meaningfully talk about, but there's this interesting genre of like trans mask centered NSFW content, which is typically referred to as like fake boy content. And the interesting thing there is that it is predominantly created and consumed by trans mask people. It's such an interesting and very complicated conversation about like the fetishization of trans bodies when it is a means of self-expression and when it is, you know, an attempt at making us taboo and fetishizing us.
Nuance. There's nuance to this conversation.
Mm-hmm. There's endless amounts of nuance to this conversation.
Yeah, God. So,
and the internet hates nuance.
yeah, kids, I want you all to know, do not ever, if I ever catch you all at all bashing spicy content creators for simply just being spicy content creators, I am gonna ban you so fast. There is conversation to be had, but do not shame people for what they're doing.
Shout out to adult creators and shout out to people who are engaging in kink in safe, you know, spaces and whatnot. It is certainly though a very nuanced conversation.
Would you allow a child to transition
Yeah, they have the freedom to choose.
to Christianity?
Huh? Okay, if I can be so honest, a point of disagreement I do tend to have with a lot of other leftists actually is that I don't have any issues with religion. I have issues very specifically with organized religion, but I see religion particularly as an important element of culture, and to erase religion is to erase large swaths of culture. And yeah, that includes Christianity. That said, screw any advocacy for like these hierarchical structures wherein we give people power that is supposedly ordained by a god.
No, I agree with you. I've always have said this and I've always had a little bit of pushback from people, and I'm just like, yo. I think religion has its merits. I think religion is really good in a lot of ways, and it gives a lot of people structure in their life, and it gives a lot of people like answers to things that they might not, you know, be afraid to ask, hey, what happens when we die, or, you know, other things. But it's organized religion, right? It's like the Southern Baptists and the like how people are trying to weaponize Catholicism, and how people, you know, like right now there's a division within the Methodist Church of the Methodist Church wanting to accept gay people and trans people, and then you have the Universal Methodist Church who doesn't want to be accepting of everybody, and they don't want the global cabal to be in charge of the religion, so they chose to be the Universal Methodist Church. You know, great naming there, y'all. But it's the way that religion is weaponized is what I had problems with. And like with this right here is like, oh yeah, totally, because you know, choosing your religion is the same thing as expressing your gender. Like they're not the same. Like you can, it's like the same people who try to say being a cop is equivalent to being black, and it's like, no, you choose to be a cop.
Do people say that?
Yeah, people, a lot of Blue Lives Matter people are like, you know, it's so hard to be a cop. You know, it's harder to be a cop than to be a black person. It's just like, are you fucking kidding me?
I've never heard that before.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You have not been on like the recesses of like fucking Facebook during the George Floyd stuff. I was in the thick of it.
Yeah, I've never touched Facebook in my life, and I plan to keep it that way.
I was in the thick of it. It's just, people are like, it's so disgusting how people are willing to cherry pick and like be like, oh yeah, being a cop is hard. Being a Christian's hard. It's harder than being gay or trans or a person of color because we get so persecuted. And it's like, yeah, but are you having laws being specifically written to like persecute you for being a Christian or for being a cop? Are you like having laws that are purposely like trying to, you know, legislate your representatives out and like like try to whitewash your areas? Are you like, so, you know.
Have you been called a slur in the street? Because I have.
Oh, God.
No, the cop thing is particularly exhausting to me because that is not some kind of identity you are born with. That is a career that you opt into with, you know, not as much training as you should get, but, you know, with enough time to have made that choice. And while I give my love to anyone who has realized the flaws of the police force and stepped away from it, ACAB.
ACAB. Yep, ACAB.
Shout out to the gay ACAB flag in the corner of my room. It's really the highlight of this space, by the way.
Trump did not threaten to kill trans people. Your entire belief system is based on propaganda, lies, and delusion. Everything you believe is based on denying reality and forcing your beliefs on other people, while pretending that forcing everyone in the world to believe exactly what you believe is a human right. Please go outside, touch grass, and try to reconnect with objective reality before your hatred drives you to hurt someone. Please.
I think I need mouthwash after reading all of that. Just speaking personally, I think I need some mouthwash because
Ayo, mouthwashing, hit video game.
like,
Nah. People like this are particularly exhausting to me because I do think there is something to be said for the ways in. There is absolutely a whole economy kind of built out of like clickbaiting a lot of trans fear and panic out there. I am constantly telling people that like the current state of trans rights is absolutely scary, but that there is hope to be found in engaging in our communities. Like, go outside, engage with people, find shared spaces. But the idea that trans rights are not actively under attack, I don't understand how people can exist in this same universe and not see that happening every day.
well, I mean, that's the whole thing though, right? Like with the stages of genocide is because we're in late stages, is that they have to like demonize a group of people, and then anything that the group says, you gotta like make it sound like it's not nearly as bad as they're saying it, and they try to like constantly like downplay everything and try to like make it seem like the oppressed group is just being overreactionary. And so that way, you know, you kind of get your base and your people in the mindset of like, well, these are evil people anyways, so who cares? And that's kind of the issue. It's just like people have already, you know, metaphorically drinking the Kool-Aid of like transphobia and don't understand that like what they're saying, or what they probably, some of them do, but like they just don't care anymore. And they don't see it as human rights because trans people have been dehumanized and made to be out to be this like boogie person who is extremely scary and terrifying and, you know, out to go get the kids. And oh my God, it's it's the people who are actually going out and getting the kids, trying to convince people that trans people are the ones forcing everything on everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Shit is scary right now. This reminds me of a lot of stuff that I've been writing and researching recently regarding necropolitics and the ways in which states will use power, both social and political, to essentially dictate the value of a life. And this is a thing that subconsciously happens every day. Certain lives are deemed inherently more valuable than others, and because of that, there are some that are inherently justified losses or justified as, you know, necessary victims or as deserving of harm.
Tomodachi Life shouldn't have non-binary as a gender option. This is a kid's game and should be treated as such and not fed lies.
Speaking of Twitter,
Please get off Twitter, guys, please. I'm very curious on the wording here. I'm trying to figure with the word fed here if they mean, oh, they're feeding kids lies, or if they're trying to claim that the existence of non-binary people is a government-supported fact being pushed by, like, you know, the state.
that's kind of just it though. It's like, the other thing too is like they say Tomodachi Life is a kid's game. I know more adults who are playing this game because it is a disconnect from reality and they can live their own little life in the world and not have to worry about it. Like, God forbid.
I love making my Mies talk about communism. Oh my god. I've been playing the hell out of Tomodachi Life recently. The original Tomodachi Life is like one of my favorite games of my childhood, and the fact that we have a sequel now is amazing. I love the amount of freedom they have given us to just do the wildest stuff. I've been making all my VTuber buddies and having them talk about like gay sex and guns and anarchism and the Communist Manifesto. It's great. It's peak.
I literally was just seeing somebody and they had a rose toy and they gave it to Slender Man. And I was just like, peak. That's amazing. I love that. I was gonna say also, God forbid, like another option outside of the binary exists. Jesus Christ. Like,
God forbid we allow like completely optional player customization.
Yeah, and I think that's like the other thing too, is just like the fact that like people see non-binary and they immediately think of adult fun time. Who's the one that is like has that constantly on the brain? Because like I don't think of other people's relationships whenever I'm out in public, regardless of, you know, who they're with. I just, when I'm at the gym, I'm at the gym. I'm working out. When I'm at a restaurant, I'm usually with my wife. I'm spending time with I'm not thinking about like what's in other people's pants or what's like who they're dating. Like, I don't care. I go on with my life. Like, how sad and miserable is your life to the point that that is what you care about when you see a gay couple or a trans person or somebody who you perceive to be trans? Like, why are you constantly thinking about their genitals and who they're sleeping with? Like, that's weird. That's gross behavior. Kind of projecting here.
Unless you are actively trying to seek a relationship with that person, it has no bearing on your life.
Transman, have you ever had a period?
Yes, unfortunately.
What did you say? Oh, you haven't? Then you're not a woman.
r/accidental ally.
See, unfortunately, I still experience that regularly. We're working on that. I'm waiting for the HRT to take care of that one.
Yeah, so real. I just like, it boggles my mind of like how people get trans men and trans women confused. And it's just like,
Oh yeah, got 'em. Trans men aren't women.
and it's just like, thanks.
I can see it being confusing if you like learned about trans people yesterday or if like English isn't your first language or whatnot, but in what world would people who are like, even if your perspective is, oh, they're, you know, pretending to be this gender, in what world would the term they use to define themselves be the one that calls them the gender they don't want to be, you know? Even by that logic.
Yeah, it's one of the things like, I think they just hear the word trans and they immediately make this assumption. It's like, oh, well, clearly it's a man to a woman and I don't really care. And so they think it's like this diss to be like putting man at the end of it to like misgender people, but they're just addressing another portion of the community. And it's just like, I mean, I get what you're trying to say, but r/accidental ally here of being like, yeah, you're right. Trans men aren't women and they never will be. Period.
Real.
Never have. So
It is simultaneously a relief and exhausting how like invisible trans masks tend to be in a lot of like transphobic rhetoric, because like obviously trans women tend to suffer from a lot of hyper visibility and a lot more violent rhetoric. On the other end, like a lot of transphobes either completely ignore or seem to be unaware that trans mask people exist.
yeah, either they're unaware or they think trans men are just confused little girls who just and I just want to like I'm gonna go get the broom.
Can I bite them?
Yeah, you can bite them. That's fine. That's fine.
I'm gonna bite them.
I'm gonna send my attack box out on them really fast. E, go get them.
Oh.
You must be so ugly. Trans and Arab, bro? That's literally 2 curses in one.
I want to go ahead and grab the broom. Can I go grab the broom? I might just.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. This is just straight up racist. That's just racism.
This is just racism. Like,
That's just racism. I'm not surprised that transphobes would also be racist. They tend to go hand in hand.
no, that's what I was gonna say. Transphobia and racism, one and the same. Oh my god. I mean, this is just like what you were talking about at the start before we started recording of the artist who's like, you know, racism and transphobia are interconnected with each other, which is interconnected with like xenophobia and all this other stuff. And it's just like, yeah, surprise, surprise of just like, hey, god damn, I'm to all of my Arab and Muslim viewers, I'm so sorry. Like, you all have it so bad. Like, especially with Free Palestine and Free Lebanon. Like, whatever is going on with Israel is just fucking disgusting, and it upsets me so much because it's just people existing, and we have just deemed them to be evil because of their skin color and because they don't believe in Christianity, and it's just so on so many levels.
Islamophobia, unfortunately, it never stopped being a thing, but we've, I think, seen an even further push of it in the past few years. I hope someday for a world wherein saying this kind of stuff is unacceptable again. No one is free until everyone is free.
Yeah. I was gonna say, oh my God, Islamophobia has never really disappeared. It's been a thing for centuries. It's just how prevalent it's been has changed. Because like, I feel like all of this, at the very least, and I could be wrong, I'm happy to be corrected in the comments on this, but like a lot of this especially came from after 9/11, and then that kind of just like catalyzed and like really pushed Islamophobia to the forefront of the news media. And like, it's not to say that there haven't been other times, like the whole Ollie North kind of thing with Iran Contra and all that stuff, and like with Jimmy Carter and, you know, the US Embassy being like held up by Iran. It's just one of the things of like, it's kind of disgusting that like I've seen so much hatred to a group of people because, quite frankly, in all honesty, the actions of the United States itself.
Unfortunately, fascists need an enemy to point to, and for a lot of the last few decades, that enemy has been Islam and countries which practice it, and it is disgusting. Should schools teach children about transgender ideology? Yes or no?
There are importantly things that kids should learn that are illegal to teach them. No. Well, it's not real, so no.
This is a particularly exhausting conversation for me for personal reasons, actually, because like my background in neuroscience, I've mentioned that once or twice, but I actually work in science education, and while it's not exactly my aspiration, I cannot be a teacher in a traditional school in the state of Florida while being trans. It is quite literally against the law for me to do so, at the very least before like high school, because here in Florida, Ron DeSantis passed the Don't Say Gay bill, if I recall, which is the one which essentially bans the discussion of trans issues or any kind of queer identity before, I believe, high school, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm. I think that's right. Well, and that's it's not even just like there's that, but also isn't like Texas the one where it's like trying to ban it even all the way up to college, like through college, if I remember correctly?
Would not be surprised. That sounds like something that would happen in Texas.
It's either Texas or Oklahoma. I can't remember which. It's one of the two. I think it might be Oklahoma because they had that whole controversy with the student who got the trans professor fired because she didn't follow the rubric and then tried saying it was persecution for religious beliefs. So it's just, it's another form of like rewriting history of just like, I don't really have much to say. It's just another form of rewriting history to like be a cis het white normative, try to not make your kids feel bad because white guilt or cis guilt.
And it's exhausting how much this gets in the way of just like basic biology education as well. I'm sorry, but nothing in biology is binary. We know this well.
Sorry, but that M&S video doing rounds is peak rage baiting. Obviously you won't be changing in front of men unless you refuse one of the private changing rooms.
Men don't understand that M&S changing rooms used to be a social space. Moms and daughters or groups of friends would go in together. People would come out of cubicles part clothed to ask the assistant for another size. Women would ask others if a piece of clothing suited them.
At Angel in Islington, there's now men on the tills in the lingerie/menswear floor. Few women want men handling and folding their new pants and bras while they pay for them, making small talk, nice color, or avoiding eye contact.
I bought toilet roll in Sainsbury yesterday, and a man handled the very tissue I will wipe my bum with. I've reported it to the police.
So this is about the M&S stuff, apparently. So this is the guy who is working at M&S where there's like, I guess, a women's and a men's section, like menswear and women's like lingerie. And this woman's like, it's illegal for you to be here because women are changing. And he's like, ma'am, you can take it up with the company. You can just take it up with the company. I'm literally just doing my job. So it's the rad femmes being upset that men exist.
Have we considered that men just exist? I think this is a thing, honestly, even in the queer community that we sometimes need to address. Have we considered that, like, men aren't inherently predatory and are allowed to just exist sometimes?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like when I see in queer spaces where it's like ladies and non-binary night. And it's one of the things of like, okay, are you accepting of trans women? Are you accepting of more masculine looking non-binary people? Like, what are we like? Because like a lot of those places, whenever they say, oh yeah, this is like women and non-binary night, is very trans exclusive. And also when they say non-binary, they mainly mean like woman light. And it's just kind of disgusting of like masculine non-binary people exist and trans women exist of all flavors.
Yeah, as a mask-presenting non-binary person, I see spaces like that and I kind of immediately know that, like, there's a 50-50 shot that I'm not welcome, just for the fact that I tend to present myself more masculine in everything.
And I don't know, the other thing too is just like, you know, God forbid a man probably be working in a place where there's menswear and also at a register.
God forbid a guy try to make a living.
Yeah. Also, like, God forbid a man touch underwear. Like,
God forbid a man be aware that women.
Yeah, it's one of the things. Like, I remember whenever I was like, when I thought I was cis and straight, like, it was kind of a customary for a guy to go into Victoria's Secrets to go buy his partner underwear, and that was seen as like cute and, you know, adorable and, oh, he's really sweet. And now it's just like, oh, God forbid a man be working in a space where there are clearly closed changing rooms and you can easily go send a fully clothed person to go grab you more stuff. Because like every time I go to a changing room with my wife, I text my wife, I'm like, hey, could you grab me like a size up of this fit? Like, it's not that hard. Or if my wife is right there, I'll throw the thing over the door, like, hey, could you go get me a bigger size of this, please? Or like under the door. And then they just do. And then they'll knock on the door and I'll open the door, like, okay, grab the thing and just close it. Like, it's not that hard. It's just,
I promise the guy working at your local clothing store is probably not creeping on you. He's just doing his job. TERFs and transphobes call this a woman, by the way. This is so funny considering that this guy is trans.
No, they don't. You fucking projecting.
Been living under a rock? Take a look around. In fact, just look at this thread alone.
No, I'm not, you fucking dumbass motherfucker. You cannot seriously tell me that guy over there is trans. And no, people just saying they are trans doesn't automatically make them trans. And no, he wasn't assigned a girl whatsoever. You're just lying over there, you fucking dumbass. God, you're such an idiot of high superiority. Even a dodo is smarter than you.
Once again, transphobes forget that trans mass people exist.
yeah, I honestly cut out a lot of this because it's like a thread of them going back and forth. And the person in blue is like, that's a trans man. That was a guy who was literally assigned a girl at birth and he transitioned. And now, I don't remember this creator's name, but he is a like buff, jacked man who works in like a factory, like a steel factory, and lives his life. And I've been following him for a few years now, and he's been so sweet, and he's honestly a very kind person. But God, he just proves that transphobes don't know what they're talking about.
Good on him for like existing and living his life. No, it's exhausting how, and it's intentional as well that transphobes don't want to acknowledge that trans men exist. A trans mask person either passes too well and thereby can't possibly be trans, or is just a misguided young girl, and I hate it. I hate every second of it.
Yeah, I feel for so many of my trans brothers. I'm just like, I'm like, Jesus.
Hey, solidarity.
Yeah,
Me as a trans man using the bathroom that was assigned to me at birth?
The eyelashes give it away a bit.
Bro, transvestigating eyelashes now?
It's the truth.
You ain't seen Cillian Murphy, have you?
No, because I don't care.
The idea that transphobes are constantly inventing like new telltale signs that someone is trans.
They, like, oh my god, they honestly are.
God forbid a guy have pretty eyes.
Yeah, God forbid a guy had pretty eyes. You know, back in high school, before figuring out that I was trans, I literally got commented on my eyelashes. I was like, oh my god, you wearing makeup? I'm so fucking jealous of your eyes. They look so good. What the fuck? Why can't you be a girl? And I'm just like, I know, why can't I be a girl?
Hey, you got there eventually.
I got there eventually. But like, I think the other problem that I have is like, I think so there's this of like the transphobes always come up with new tells, or they confuse in the last post of like, well, that's just a man, obviously. And it's one of the things of like, I've seen this argument pop up from like trans people, like, so you want people who were assigned their gender at birth to go to the restroom that aligns with that, right? Okay, cool. What about trans men? And there's just like the amount of, they don't think about it.
The thing is, they don't want to answer that question.
They don't. And then the other question is like,
see, it's not even that they don't think about it. They don't want to answer the question because in their minds, it's easier to write off trans men as either not being legitimate or just being misguided women.
Or the other thing is the person is like, okay, then what stops a cis man from just saying that they're a trans man? And that's the thing is like the politicians that usually do that are like, and like they're just dumbfounded. And it's just like, and this isn't like, not to like get trans men from like being in the women's restroom, like especially if these schools go through, but it's just like, you don't want men in the restroom and you have like this idea of like what it looks like to be a gender or something. And like, you're holding stereotypes up and you're trying to make like spaces be less safe by either having genital inspections or all this other stuff, or you're just going to like allow for people to just like take advantage of the system that's openly like there's no clear defined way. Because like I know in Texas there was the bathroom bans were being put into place, and you know all the trans women went and used the restroom, and then they finally put state troopers at like the doors, and they were forcing every person going into the bathroom to show their IDs. And
Christ.
It was all trans women who were in line, and some of them were allowed through and some of them were not, just based off of their appearance or based off of their identification card. And it's just like,
that is so horrifyingly dystopic.
yeah. And it's just like, there is no set way of being able to do this that would keep those who would seek to do the harm outside of just like, yeah, it just shows like how dumb these laws are.
Ultimately, it's not even about restrooms. It is a targeted effort to keep trans people out of public life and to discourage us from transitioning or to force us back into the closet for the sake of being able to exist in public. And I hate it, and they won't win.
My mom says she wouldn't be mad if I ended up being a lesbian or aro ace. She hates one topic and Jamie Dodger for spreading lies. She misgendered Jamie on purpose too.
I'm gonna go get the broom. How dare you misgender Jamie? How fucking dare you misgender
Literally.
Jamie? That is a precious little gem, and I'm gonna go grab the broom. Hold on, give me a second. Let me just.
Shout out to Jamie for being like one of the few trans mask creators from like that era of YouTube who was like positive and accepting and chill. I remember like a lot of like 2010s trans mask YouTube creators. There was so much constant like trans medicalist rhetoric, a lot of exhausting attempts to invalidate like other trans people and to assert that there was a correct way to be trans. And I'm so glad we've largely evolved past that era, but like shout out to Jamie Dodger for consistently just being such a positive force.
Yeah, well, not only just being like a positive force, but like also just being so open and sharing his experience and like being so upfront with it and kind of documenting it a little bit. Like I honestly have been watching Jamie for a little bit, and it's been really great to like just hear him speak and like talk about his experience and quite frankly just like see the changes and like how he's really open about all that stuff. And that's not to say like there aren't any like other trans men that do it as well, because like I've watched, no offense, I'm friends with AE and I've listened to AE talk about his experiences as well. But like I think it's always
I'm just a loud punk dog boy.
yeah, well, you know what? You're a loud punk dog boy who I like hanging around and listening to, and like it's always like good to hear your experience.
How dare you?
How dare I support my friends, and how dare I listen to others?
How dare you be nice to me? That's illegal. Don't you know that's illegal?
You know that's my whole thing, right? Is I'm extremely nice to everybody.
Fair point.
Well, I'm extremely nice to everybody but one person.
Also, if I can like fanboy for a second, one topic was in my Twitch chat the other night and I was so starstruck, and I'm pretty sure I like performed horribly in that moment. I was like 7 hours into a stream and I was sitting there like such a little guy like, oh, hello!
Yeah, OT, he's okay. He's just a little stinky guy. It's fine. He's not that special.
I think he is. I think he's special.
No, I'd be lying if I didn't say I was also a little bit Star Trek when he first popped. Oh my god. Do you know what OT did to me?
What happened?
Okay. OT shouted me out in his roommate's chat because I had just gotten partner, followed me, apparently unfollowed me. And then when I was in another friend of his chat, he goes, is it weird if I follow you again because I unfollowed you? And I was like, well, I didn't know that you unfollowed me.
Damn.
OT, way to just be like, yeah, I followed you, then unfollowed you.
How dare you? How dare OT? That's so mean.
How toxic. God. Who cares about me? I'm just a cringe little fox anyways.
No. You're like the best. I'm biting you.
No. OT and I are foes.
Got it. All right. Enemies. Understood.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna join this war on the side of OT.
I figured I'd be by myself. It's fine. Yeah, that's the last one that I have. So
We did it.
We suffered together. Kind of. I hope this wasn't too much, but AE, thank you so much for joining me.
No, I've enjoyed myself. Of course. Thank you for having me. It is always a pleasure to chat with you.
It's always a pleasure to chat with you as well. I need to not be so infrequent with my DMs. I am really bad about all of that, but thank you so much.
I've been the same way recently. I just moved into a new apartment. I'm still figuring out routines, but hey, we're making things work.
That's completely valid.
I'm very shy.
Fair. But yeah, do you want to tell people where they can find you one last time and who you are and all that fun stuff?
Of course. I've been Archivist. I'm your loud punk back talking queer and leftist issues here on the internet. You can find me on Twitch streaming usually 3 times a week, 7 p.m. EST, and I occasionally will post video essays and whatnot here on YouTube. I do have one question. When's this video getting uploaded?
June 20th.
June 20th.
That's the targeted date.
All right. So if all has gone to plan, about 10 days after this video releases is actually my 1-year anniversary on HRT.
Oh, hell yeah.
And with any luck, if I can keep myself on schedule, I'm hoping to put out my own little video celebrating that fact when the time comes. So I hope to see everyone there.
Yeah, let's go. That's amazing. All right. Well, kids, thank you so much for being here and hanging out. Thank you so much for viewing this video. I know a lot of the times these videos can be a lot to handle, and I greatly appreciate you all for hanging out and vibing and chilling and all that stuff. So I just want to give a huge shout out to all my patrons and all my YouTube members and all my Twitch subscribers. Seriously, you all help out a ton, and you have no idea how much it means to me. And the other thing too is just like, even if you're not able to afford a subscription or to be able to pay for Patreon or for YouTube membership, honestly, you all just watching this video helps way more than you think. Liking it, subscribing to the channel, and sharing helps a ton. And yeah, leaving comments. I read as many comments as I possibly can, especially within a day. You know, some days are a lot easier than others, but it's always great hearing back from you all and just, you know, chatting with you for a little bit. But with all of that, all I have to say now is bye-bye.
Take care, folks.
That's so
Got a little
cute.
scared. This is my pussy, my manager Yasha.
That's so cute.
So she has decided that she wants attention now.
We had 2. The problem is the 2 that we had were complete assholes.
Don't eat those.
Speaking of cats being assholes.
Speaking of, yeah, there we go.